Greetings, trombonists in lockdown. I am here again today to bring you another video that I made for the band program at a local high school, and I thought that I would share that information with you as well. Somebody might find it interesting, and last time I spoke way too long and just kind of blah, 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 way too much, so I figure we'll just get to it. Greetings, Beaverton High School students at large. We are here again, once again, on this cozy little evening, stuck at home. So, even though it was a beautiful day outside, I didn't go anywhere, and I was able to spend time in my room practicing. And I know that with the weather supposedly turning for the worse next week, you too will want to have all the information you need to get a successful practice in. So, today we're going to talk about that topic that was for another day. With that out of the way, we can talk about what it was that we went over last time, which was our practice space. We want to be able to set up a consistent practice space that has these requirements over here. Your practice space is now for teaching you how to improve. Find a space that you feel comfortable with how you sound. Learn what makes that space sound good to you. Know how to recreate that space if it can't be left alone. Understand your baseline or your benchmark on how you play, and then build on that to raise your bar on how you play your instrument. Practice the way that you'd perform to maintain good rehearsal habits, and then enjoy making music. And with that taken care of and out of the way, we can get to today's topic, which is practicing in your practice space. Well, when we go to practice in our practice space, we're going to need a couple of tools. First of all, we're going to need ourselves in a good mental space to be able to put good effort into that practice time. We're going to need our instrument to be in good working condition. The valves are going to be going up and down. The slides work. When it doesn't smell like an old garbage disposal. You want to make sure your horn is clean. And when your instrument is cleaned up and ready to go, then you're going to still need to get a couple more items. And one of those items is going to need to be some kind of a tuner. You're going to want to have a tuner of some kind so that you can see if you're in tune. And you're going to want to have a metronome as well. So you need a tuner, a metronome, an instrument that's in good condition. And I know what a lot of you are thinking. You're thinking, my phone, it has a tuner and it has a metronome and it can entertain me with cartoons and I can read text from my friends while I'm practicing. No, I'm afraid not. Your phone is a handy device, but it can't be a tuner and a metronome at the same time, unfortunately. If you can only get a tuner or a metronome, then you can use your phone for the other device you don't have. But I'd still prefer you to have the tuner and the metronome and your phone, or some kind of recording device, because you're going to want to record yourself when you play. But again, a topic for another day. So let's get into practicing. When we practice, we all know how to practice. We've been doing it for a long time. Our teachers have told us how to practice. But just to go over it, I want to make sure that we're all on a level playing field, as they would say. So, here we go. When I practice, there are 5 different moments that I have in a practice session as a whole. 1, warm up. So I've got my practice space set up. I know what to expect from my practice space when I play into it, because I've been utilizing it and know that it will give me consistent feedback. And the best way to warm up is just the stuff that we've already been doing in band. Things like the Remington exercise. Just playing the Remington exercise is a great way to warm up. It's nice and slow, it has long air, so you have time to set your mind up and your body to be able to get the air flowing and focus ourselves into our sound, because one of the things that we want to do is we want to listen critically to how we are playing. Now, listening critically, again, is a topic for another day. So, by being able to put a consistent warm-up into our practice space, that we know is going to provide us with consistent feedback, we'll be able to tell where we are with our playing when we need to do it. And that's a very important part of knowing when you are ready to proceed to the next step in our practice session. And your warm-up may take longer, may take shorter, depending on the day and how you feel. And when you are finding that you're taking less time to warm up, it's a good way to review back and find out or figure out why you feel like you need less time today to warm up, besides just being impatient maybe. And that way you can better gauge over time and assess how you play so that you can maximize your ability to improve in these times when we can't all be together to help each other out. So we can go on to the next phase of our practice session, which is playing scales. Scales are an incredibly important part of our practice. We want to learn to play all of our scales. And when I say all of our scales, I don't mean all of our major scales. I also mean play all of our minor scales. And you may know that there are 3 forms of minor scale. There's the minor scale, then there is the harmonic minor scale, and the melodic minor scale. And you want to be able to play all 3 forms of these scales. When I was in high school, I used to play all of my major scales, all of my minor scales, all of my harmonic minor scales, all of my melodic minor scales. And it took a long time. It's not incumbent upon you to play all of your scales every day, but it is important for you to work on scales every practice session. Something that you're also going to need is some kind of scales exercise book. And the reason why you want an exercise book is because it will teach you how to play your scales in all different kinds of patterns. And it's important that we know how to play all of these different kinds of patterns because it helps really greatly with sight reading down the road. Again, a topic for another day. So you want to have an exercise book after you warm up to play your scales. And again, you're going to listen critically. You're going to use your tuner when you play your scales to ensure that you're playing in tune to yourself. And again, very important to know what it feels like and sounds like for you to play in tune with your tuner. And you want to use the metronome because when we're in this environment, just playing by ourselves, it's really easy you get faster and faster and faster, but you don't really know it. Practicing in a vacuum kind of a situation, you can't tell what's going to happen when you get back into a group to play with others. So you want to have that metronome going so you can see what your tendency is. Do you tend to slow down? Do you tend to speed up? And these, again, are things that you can learn to do consistently in your consistently feedback-friendly practice space. You want to take a moment to take a break, get a glass of water, do something else. Give yourself a little mental break so that you're not just pounding at it all the time. But when you come back, give yourself a brief warm-up, maybe play a scale or two, and then find a piece that has a melody, something you enjoy playing. It could be almost anything. It could be a song from a radio. It could be a piece that you've already played in band that has a melody that you enjoyed. It could be something from a video game or a meme or anything. But the best way to do that is to get a book of etudes. You want to have etudes. The etudes come in really handy. They're melodious, they're pretty, they are more classically sounding in nature, so they will help you with style. The third part of our practice is all about style. We want to learn how to play melodiously. We want to use our articulations and our slurs. We want to be able to crescendo and decrescendo, play with effect, and learn different styles of playing, from any kind of Baroque music to the Romantic, or even rock and roll, or like I said, something from the radio. And this is our opportunity to do it in this third section of our practice. And you want to be able to make sure that you're going to be playing in time with your metronome, and certain notes, high notes or certain low notes, you want to keep an eye out on your tuner to make sure that those notes are in tune. again, take a little mental break and move on to the fourth part of our practice. Now, the fourth part of our practice is the time where we have to, in every practice session, take a moment and imagine ourselves in a performance or at school, or even better, both, and either take a scale exercise or take that melodious etude that you've been playing and perform it as if you were in a concert or playing in front of the band. And this is where a recording device would be great. You can record yourself playing or a video, and you can see yourself, see what you look like, and you may hate looking at yourself and hearing yourself, but it is still an important part of developing as a musician. So you want to be able to set up your camera or whatever you're going to record with, and you want to practice good performance habits. Sit up straight, make sure that your instrument is down, pick up your horn, and then play. Right? So as we get into our good practice habits and our good performance habits, we won't be lacking when we all get back together in band and are able to perform with each other and enjoy making music together again. And the fifth part of our practice is the warm down. Now, the warm down, after we've been playing, our minds are bottled up, our chops are tight, our brain has reorganized where the blood flow should go to, and it wants that blood to flow to the muscles that we need most, our chops, our breathing apparatus. And because of that, the muscles can become very tight and strained. So we want to warm down. And the best warm down is basically kind of like warming up. You just want to take that same piece like the Remington, but instead of playing it up, you want to play it down. By playing it nice and low, playing it long, going back to that warm-up idea, it'll help relax the muscles, get blood flowing back into the muscles so that it can carry away any toxins that might be building up there. Like a runner, they have to drink and shake their legs out. They have to do the warm down, the cool down. It's very important as a musician that you do that too and again. Sometimes it takes a long time, sometimes it takes less time. But those are the 5 parts of practice. You want to warm up, then you want to play some kind of scales regime or exercises, then you want to be able to take a time to play melodies, things that you enjoy playing, working on an etude. Then 4, you want to practice as if you were play as if you were performing. You want to practice like you perform. And then 5, warm down. Then you're done. And I guess that'll be all I really have to talk about today. Next time, I guess we'll go over those things that we were going to discuss on another day. So, until then, be safe, be happy,